Hey everybody, it's Chris. I'm here with another video, this time on the Nissan. It's a 2003 Nissan Frontier. 2.4 liter two-wheel drive. It has a bad catalytic converter. I have a code reader with me, one of the Actron Scan Plus code readers to show you. Number one, my check engine light is on, and I already hooked the car up to the truck up to the code reader. And this is what it is. It is a, whoops, let me get this stupid camera straight. It is an Actron Auto Scanner Plus. It is a code reader, not a scan tool. That is an important misrepresentation. A lot of these auto parts stores like AutoZone or Advanced Auto will let you borrow one. Well, I actually own this one because I have enough problems with computer codes that I want to know what's going on. It is not a scan tool. It is a code reader. Just beforehand, I want to let you know that codes sometimes, give you an idea of what the problem is, but not necessarily what the actual component is. So that I'm choosing the 03 Frontier. You can go through manual or auto ID if your car supports it, but this one does not. So turn the key off for 10 seconds, turn the key back on, yeah, whatever. But yeah, like for a code reader and a scan tool, there's a big difference. A code reader will identify the codes that the car is throwing, not necessarily the part that is causing the code. So for a catalytic converter code, it's usually a P0420, I believe it is, which is what this is. Why is this shaking so much? Crazy. I'm holding it perfectly still and it's shaking. I don't have arthritis or crazy stuff. Okay, so we're going to hit enter, and then we can read the code. And then we'll just choose all the above. Reading codes. Okay, P0420, catalyst system efficiency below threshold bank 1. Bank 1 meaning this is a 4-cylinder. You'd have two banks if you had a V8. Bank 1 will have two oxygen sensors, a upstream and a downstream. The upstream is located before the catalytic converter. Oh my god. Sorry about that. My other phone went off. Like I was saying, the oxygen sensors will have two for bank 1, a upstream and a downstream. Upstream is located before the catalytic converter, and the downstream or sensor number 2 will be after. So what we want to do is we can do a view data. Now this is going to give you all of the 329 sensors that this car has, but I'm going to create a custom data set, and for this scanner I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so we're going to do a custom data list. No, I don't need instructions. So what we're going to do is we're going to do engine speed, and you hit the right button and it'll check it off, a little check mark. And then we're going to do, we can do coolant, and then we're going to do where is it at? Oxygen sensor 1, well, OS2S11, which will be oxygen sensor bank 1 number 1, and then we want the second one right here. So we'll hit enter on this. Now this vehicle has been diagnosed with this code reader and the scan tool as having a bad catalytic converter, and I'll show you why. So right now we are at 900 RPM. I have the air conditioner on because it's hot. 180 degrees, which is the operating temperature of this vehicle. Sometimes it'll go up to the 195. And at idle here, what you're going to notice is the sensor 1 is fluctuating. Now that is normal because it's the computer basically controlling the mixture to the catalytic converter to make it do its job. Imagine a pure sine wave, like a waveform. What the computer's doing is it's basically fanning the fire of the not an actual fire, but the heat to the catalytic converter to make it do its job. Now you're going to notice that oxygen sensor bank 1, number 2 is holding steady right now at 0.3. Now what we can do, now you're going to notice that little G right here. That means I can get a graph of what's going on. So I'm going to raise the RPM, and what you're going to see is this second bank fluctuate like the first one does. I'd like to try to keep it around 2,500 RPM. Now, as it starts to heat up the secondary oxygen sensor, this hasn't been running for, I don't know, 5 minutes. Once it actually goes into a closed loop, you're going to see the secondary oxygen sensor start to read. But you'll notice the first one is fluctuating. And what you want to see generally for the secondary is anywhere between 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, and it should hold steady. But you'll see it now, it's starting to grow, and it will actually fluctuate and almost match the oxygen sensor upstream. Now I've been holding this at 2,500-ish RPMs. Right now it's at 2,550-ish. And you see the top and bottom ones starting to fluctuate now, and they're almost matching. Now, if this catalytic converter were functioning properly, that bottom one would, the secondary sensor would pretty much stay flat. It would have voltage applied to it, which means the catalyst is doing its thing. There's some sunlight in the way there. So, what does that tell you? Okay, right now this code reader is saying, okay, I have, RPM, coolant temperature, and the 2 oxygen sensors. Well, if this catalytic converter was functioning properly, the bottom voltage on the second sensor would be more steady. The first sensor is always going to fluctuate. If you had a bad first or second sensor, you would either get a very dramatic voltage, a very high voltage that was steady, or no voltage at all. This is a 2003. The newer models do AFR sensors, which are air fuel ratio, which this sensor does not measure, or this code reader does not measure. But the scan tool that this was actually hooked up to, which was probably about a $5,000 unit, does tell you exactly which sensor would be failed, which component is bad. Like I said, this is a code reader, it's not a scan tool. So don't say, oh my god, I need a new catalytic converter because this little code reader told me that my oxygen sensors weren't working, or they're not, functioning the way the catalytic converter sees. Now, I can go ahead and clear the code. So I'm going to lower the RPMs now. And it's still fluctuating even at idle. So what I'll do is go back, and I can cheat here and erase the codes. And my light is out. But that doesn't fix the problem, it just fixes your annoying dash light. So, code's complete, remaining 0. Now what's going to happen is, if I go to a read code, I'm going to still have that P0420 pending, because the computer is saying, hey, you have a code that you cleared, and now it's pending, meaning we're going to wait an X amount of miles or time and check the system again. Oh, no codes right now. It'll be a little bit. But it will pop one again. It'll do it like every 100 miles or so. I do have one ordered. I will be putting it on, and then we'll do a post video, probably at a later date, to to what's going on with the voltages. So right now, 183, blah 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 blah. me let it idle. Okay, close loop. Now if I, let's see, OS2 sensor 1, OS2 sensor 2. Look at that. They're still not, it's still fluctuating very rapidly. And that's not good for a secondary sensor. So when I get the new catalytic converter on, we will double check and see. So that's how you scan for a bad oxygen sensor, or check your catalytic converter if you're getting that P0420 code. And sorry this video seems to be shaking so much. I try the new setting on my phone. This is an older phone. This is a Galaxy S5. My actual phone's there. I guess I should have shot it on the iPhone 6 Plus. I think it's a S. I can't read that. Yeah, 6S Plus. But this one always had a really good camera, but for some reason it's like I have Parkinson's or something, and I'm shaking really bad, but I'm holding it perfectly still. So I hope this helps you. Like I said, this is a code reader, not a scan tool. But I already know from actually having it scanned that this cat is bad, and this vehicle currently has 189,603 miles. It is the original everything, minus the transmission, tires, and normal wear, tear, brakes, rotor, stuff like that. Water pump was put on it at about 120,000. It's been a great truck, except for this past year, with this code popping up and the dash light always lighting up. But yeah, like I said, I hope this helps you. If you like it, comment, feel free. If I missed anything, let me know. Constructive criticism is always welcome, and we'll address any of those comments or issues. I can reply online. Go ahead and subscribe. I do a lot of videos on various things, from fixing this car, that van, the Camaro, or the chicken, and yeah, or computer stuff, or washing machines, just generally anything. So once again, this is a 2003 Nissan Frontier 2.4 liter XE King Cab, 5-speed, right close to 190,000 miles, and this was a O2 sensor, read on the code reader for the screwed up catalytic converter. I just was trying to document this before I replaced it, and we'll take some readings when I get back with this. So stay tuned for a future video with a repaired catalytic converter. Hopefully I can get one cheap off eBay that bolts on, not the universal weld-on type. You can get those cheaper, but a lot of times Walker will have a direct bolt-on that you can get a lot cheaper than an OEM, like a Denso or whatever Nissan's factory dealer type would use, because you all know if you go to the dealer to buy anything, you're going to get tremendously charged because of the OEM parts. But you can get an OEM type direct bolt-on, usually $100, $200 cheaper than what the dealer would want. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more.